Hey, I'm Srini, the creator of Maximize Your Output with Mem. Are you tired of losing track of your valuable reading insights? Imagine having all your Readwise highlights seamlessly organized in Mem, ready for you to access whenever you need them. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to effortlessly import your highlights into Mem using Raycast. By the end of this video, you'll be set up to literally type the title, any book you want to import, and with just a few clicks, have it right there in Mem. And if you want to take your organization skills to the next level, check out our free video series on building the second brain in Mem at maximizeyouroutput.com/second brain. Now let's get to the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Maximize Your Output YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to show you how you can import notes from Readwise to Mem using a powerful tool called Raycast. If you're someone who reads a lot, takes a lot of notes, or just wants all that amazing information accessible when you need it. If you're not familiar with Raycast, it's an app for Mac users that makes it easy to create custom shortcuts and commands that automate everyday tasks. It's like Spotlight on steroids, and it gives you abilities like a clipboard history, quick links, shortcuts. They even have AI built into it. And what we're going to do in this video, we're going to use Raycast to automate a workflow that brings all your book highlights into Mem so they can easily be searched, tagged, and used for your creative projects by simply typing in the title of the book. So let's get to it. So before we dive into building anything, you need to gather 3 important keys. These are the keys that are going to unlock the doors for our automation. So let's walk through each one. The first is going to be your Mem API key. And to access it, all you have to do is go over here to this URL, or you can click on the little icon in the top right and click on settings. And when you click on setup integrations, you'll see an option that will bring you back to this screen. Once you create your API key, copy it and paste it into a note, either keep it in Mem or on Notepad, depending on where you want to keep it. Then you need another API key, which is going to be your Readwise API key. And the reason we need this is because this is what's going to allow us to connect Readwise. And this is where all our book highlights are stored. The way that you access this is by going to readwise.io/API_deets. And you can also get here just by doing a quick search for Readwise API, and it'll bring you here. And if you click on this link that says readwise.io/access token, you will be taken to a screen where you can make a copy of that access token. So now you've got 2 of the pieces. Finally, if you want to have summarization in the way that I'm going to show you here in this video, you'll need your OpenAI API key, and you will probably need a ChatGPT Plus subscription to be able to use this. But the way that you get there is by going to platform.openai.com/API-keys. And I'll include all the URLs to all of these things in the video so you don't have to remember them. Once you have your 3 API keys, then you're ready to move on to the next step. And so what we're going to do is create something in Raycast called a script command. That script command will retrieve book highlights and import them to Mem. And then it will send those highlights to ChatGPT and create a summary for us, and then import that summary into Mem. So how do we create a script command? Well, it's actually really simple. Once you have Raycast installed, you'll see that I just pressed Control on my keyboard, or you can choose whatever you want as your hotkey to activate a Raycast. And you'll see here that there are also several different commands and multiple extensions that you can install. You can search very easily. I use this almost every day. It's one of those things that runs in the background, but once you start using it, you'll realize how dependent on it you become. When it's not there, you'll notice. Let's go ahead and get back to our extension screen. So you can see here we have this screen called extensions. On this screen, you'll go to the tab that says scripts. Now you can see here that we have a script titled fetch book highlights and send them to Mem. If we want to create one from scratch, we're going to click create script command. And here's where you're going to do most of your work. A couple of things that are really important here. I'm going to create a simple test script command to show you what this will look like. One of the things that's important is making sure that Raycast can access this. And you can see here, in this case, because of the fact that our book script is something that does have an argument, which is our title, we would check with argument. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and create this. And it's really important that you save this to the right place. If you don't, Raycast won't be able to find it. I have a Dropbox folder titled RC scripts, so I can just go back and access that. Raycast basically knows that anything in here is considered a script. All right, so now that we have created our script command under extensions, you can see it says simple test. Let's open this file so you can see what's in it. And you'll notice a couple of things. One are these different things at the top. These are parameters. These required parameters are really important because even if you save it to a directory for Raycast to access, it's not going to see it if you remove these parameters. I made the mistake of doing that probably 50 times until I realized the reason my scripts were disappearing was because I was removing that. So if you remove this, for example, and you go back to the extensions, you actually won't see your script command in Raycast. So let's go ahead and open up our command for fetch book highlights. I just want to show you what this looks like. You can see here, this is where all those API keys go in. If you decide to copy and paste this entire script, you might run into some errors because there are a couple things you might need to install on your computer locally. If you do run into errors, what you should do is just go ahead and paste this into ChatGPT, ask it what's causing the errors, and it might tell you to install a few things through terminal. Once that's done, all of this should work fairly seamlessly, and you can then import your highlights into Mem. So now we've set up our script command. And the last thing you're going to do is update the code with your API keys. I'll give you a sample that you can use of the code that you just saw. But now here comes the fun part. Let's actually go ahead and see how this goes. I'm going to go to the home screen here on Mem and show you exactly how this works. I'm going to say fetch book highlights and send them to Mem. So this is important. If you make typos, it may not work. So be careful of this. I'm going to bring in a book that I know I didn't import yet and type in the Creativity Advantage. And what you can see here right now is it basically is saying that our highlights have been successfully sent to Mem. And it's also in the process of sending the summary to Mem. So everything is done. There it is right there. So there's the Creativity Advantage. And I have all my notes and highlights from Readwise, as well as a summary of that book based on a prompt that I set up. This is a fairly simple way to do this, but you can actually get a lot more flexible with this. If you wanted to, you can make changes to how you query Readwise. For example, you could say, I want all the specific notes on a particular topic or that contain a particular keyword for an article that I'm writing. This is about how specific you want to get in terms of your ability to retrieve. One of the things I love about this is the fact that it makes things super fast. In this case, I set everything up to just import directly to Mem, but if you wanted to, you could easily set it up to just search through Readwise for specific highlights on a topic and then copy and paste them. If you don't always want to import into Mem, you could also separate the summary step as well as the import step. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.